This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Staffers are stunned by what they found outside of the headquarters of the Indiana Black Expo. We'll show you what was left on the ground there and what police know about it so far. That story straight ahead, but first tonight at 6, we want to start with your Storm Team 6 forecast. Meteorologist Todd Klassen joining us. Todd, I'm not going to lie, I kind of wish I was poolside right now. It's beautiful outside.
I know, Nicole, you love being by that pool when the weather is warm, and today was the second day in a row that we saw our temperatures climb up into the 90s. We topped off at 91 in Indianapolis, but still quite a few 90s out there right now. Bloomington, Columbus, Bedford at 92, 89 in Indianapolis. Terre Haute still sitting at 92 degrees, and these temperatures are only going to slowly start to fall back down into the 80s here throughout the course of the evening hours. A live look outside shows just a few fair weather clouds right now and all that hazy sunshine. Thankfully, our humidity wasn't super high once again today. So while it was hot, it was still fairly comfortable from a humidity standpoint. But things are going to start to change as the humidity will start to climb overnight and will also bring some much needed rainfall into the forecast. And you see some showers already sneaking in to northwest Indiana, and there's a lot of showers back off to our southwest. It's not out of the question this evening that there could be a spot shower here and there across parts of western portions of the state, but it should at this point looks like be after sunset before that happens. So carry on with any plans that you may have. It'll be in the mid 80s, but look what happens as we get into your Father's Day. The showers become a little more widespread and a little more numerous across the area. So you will have to maybe alter plans a little bit with Dad tomorrow. We'll talk more about that forecast coming up in just a little bit. But again, this evening, a stray shower at best. Otherwise, Nicole, temperatures in the 80s.
All right, Todd, thank you. New tonight, an investigation is underway after a startling discovery. An image of a cross appears to have been burned into the grass in front of the headquarters of the Indiana Black Expo. Black Expo staff members say they noticed on the grass outside of their headquarters on North Shortridge Road what appeared to be a chemical burn in the shape of a cross. Indiana Black Expo purchased the East Side building in March of last year. Indiana Black Expo issued this statement. They say the building is the former home of the Crossroads Bible College, and at one point they did have a concrete cross embedded in this area. It was removed in 2017, and the area where the cross had been was filled with topsoil and seed. Black Expo executives say they immediately contacted IMPD and are awaiting the results of an investigation. On this Father's Day weekend, dozens of fathers and sons headed downtown to participate in a photo shoot, but this wasn't your typical meetup. Our Troy Washington takes you inside today's event dedicated to showing Black men and young men in a positive light.
It's been said a picture is worth 1,000 words. So without speaking, these Black men are hoping this is a representation that people will choose to remember.
We're fathers, we're brothers, we're men, we're husbands, we're working men. So I just want them to know that we are providers to our communities also.
Sean Kimbrough custom makes bow ties. He's in the business of making people look good.
I figured I'd do a photo shoot and post pictures of Black men in suits in a positive light.
Tired of seeing the negative images of Black men when he logged onto social media, he decided to use the power of the same networks to spark change and put the truth out there. But even he was surprised to birth a movement from a simple idea.
It just makes me feel so good just to see my brothers come out together in support, in unity, with our guards down. I mean, it just feels so good to be amongst men.
The steps here at the Soldier Sailors Monument were filled on Saturday as fathers and sons really took a second to exhale and be present in the moment.
I wasn't even expecting it to be anywhere close to this. My goal was to just get about 10 men together, take some pictures, and post them on social media. And it turned out to be bigger than I can expect. We're gonna flood the internet with these pictures, positive images of Black men.
Working for you downtown, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. And the push towards progress and equality continues today as an event held today to shed light on the Black and LGBTQ communities. Today's event on Meridian Street focused on violence impacting the Black LGBTQ community. The purpose of today's event was to make sure they are heard.
Black Lives Matter. I'm Black and I'm proud. but we also have to make sure that we're fighting for our Black LGBT community brothers and sisters, because that means that a person like me is that much more marginalized, is that much more targeted because of everything else that I have to live with and people like me that have to live with. So when we're talking about Black Lives Matter, let's make sure that we're including the Black LGBT community.
There was also a spot on site for people to register to vote, and also funds were raised for Indiana Pride of Color and Indiana Youth Group. It was supposed to be a protest against Governor Holcomb by a group of conservatives, but shortly after the demonstration began at the State House this afternoon, counter-protesters showed up in larger numbers. Some of the counter-protesters say they were demonstrating on behalf of Black Lives Matter, while others told us they were part of a church group. Eventually, the originally scheduled protests never really materialized.
We were told that there might be some people with some guns and stuff, and that scared us a little bit. But as far as what we wanted to do is make sure that this area was safe for our family and friends that are here today, and that they weren't going in circle with guns.
The Conservative Alliance had originally said it planned to protest Governor Holcomb's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. The group has falsely claimed that the governor was inflating the state's death total in an effort to get more money from the federal government. New tonight, a homicide investigation is underway after a person was hit by a car and killed. Police say it happened following a fight this morning on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Officers say they found an adult suffering from trauma near East 36th Street and North Leland Avenue. That's just east of Emerson. That person later died at a hospital. The victim's identity has not been released. New this evening, a statewide silver alert is in effect for a man reported missing out of northern Indiana. Gary Cox is 81 years old. He is from Columbia City, about 2 hours north of Indianapolis. The Whitley County Sheriff's Department says he hasn't been seen since last night. Cox was driving a red Infiniti i30 with Indiana tags. The last night that he was seen. If you know where he might be, you should contact the Whitley County Sheriff's Department on the number at your screen right now, 260-244-6410. COVID-19 is impacting the work that needs to be done to keep up the gardens at the Indiana War Memorials downtown. Typically, prisoners who have a year or so left of time to serve common plant flowers, but the virus has put a stop to that. But thanks to local volunteers stepping up, flowers are still getting planted. Today, members with the November Project, a free fitness movement, spent the morning volunteering and planting roses. So far this spring, volunteers have helped plant over 3,000 annuals and 80 rose bushes.
It was really exciting this year when we got connected with the November Project folks, because that's just a large group. Otherwise, it's just small groups from the buildings around generally, which works out really well too, because we really appreciate them. But the November Project, we can come in and do just a large project like this, planting 80 roses all at once in one day.
Being able to come out with all these gorgeous plants and have everything look nice and be clean helps us with our mission too, right? Having these free community spaces. So we think it's important to come and help keep this area nice and clean and pretty.
Volunteers say planting flowers at the Indiana War Memorials is still a way to maintain social distancing while giving back. You can sign up to volunteer at the Indiana War Memorials Foundation website. It has long been a place where more COVID-19 testing was needed. Next, how health officials hope a round of free testing today will cut down the spread of the coronavirus in one neighborhood. And even before his much anticipated rally, COVID-19 is spreading among the president's own staff. We'll have an update on the positive tests as thousands await the president's arrival in Oklahoma. Todd.
Yeah, Nicole, we've been enjoying all this sunshine, which has definitely been nice throughout the week, but we actually do need some rainfall. Unfortunately, the timing not all that great for your Father's Day forecast. These storms that are off to our west will be heading in our direction. We'll break it down for you hour by hour coming up here when the news at 6 continues on RTV6.
Working for you. The latest numbers from the state health department show that COVID-19 continues on a slightly downward trajectory in Indiana. Today, the department announced 411 new cases. That pushes the state past 42,000 cases overall. However, the growth in new cases has mostly held steadily over the past week. The state also reported 19 new deaths today, but new deaths also appear to be trending downward statewide. A one-day COVID-19 testing site opened today in an area of Marion County where health officials say there has been a high number of COVID-19 cases. The free drive-through testing site was held on the east side at Mount Zion Apostolic Church on East 38th Street. Anyone, regardless of symptoms, was able to get tested today. No doctor's note required. We talked with a member of the church about why she wanted to get tested.
Everybody should know their status. I work in healthcare as well, and we are going to be coming back to our church services soon here at Mount Zion, and I just want to make sure that I'm safe to be around other people.
The pop-up testing site is in addition to 3 other ongoing testing sites offered by the Marion County Public Health Department. Those locations include Warren Central High School, the Marion County Health Department, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. People who want to get tested at these sites are encouraged to register in advance on the health department's website. President Trump is about to begin the first major rally of his presidential campaign in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But even as many who are attending are dismissing concerns about the possible spread of COVID-19, 6 staffers with the Trump campaign tested positive for the virus. That news made public just hours before the rally. ABC's Karina Mitchell has the latest.
President Trump travels to Tulsa today for his first political rally since the pandemic began. Some of his supporters camping out for days to be first in line.
I mean, I'm excited. This is my very first rally, so I want to get in, number one, and I just want to be a part of it. It's great.
Others traveling from out of state to be there.
Came about 6 hours, about 400 miles. Back home a week ago when he announced his first rally was going to be in Tulsa, we talked about we'd like to go to one, hadn't been to one. So here we are.
Racial strife deeply rooted in Oklahoma, going back to the 1921 Tulsa race massacre, where white mobs attacked the Greenwood neighborhood, one of the wealthiest black areas in the country, known as Black Wall Street. They murdered residents and destroyed their businesses. Some current Greenwood residents and business owners unhappy about the president's visit.
Is the president welcome in Greenwood?
Well, for the most part, no. I'll say no. He's not coming in my store. I'm shutting down.
Unequivocally, the president is not welcome in Greenwood.
The president spoke to reporters as he left the White House this afternoon en route to Tulsa.
The event in Oklahoma is unbelievable. The crowds are unbelievable. They haven't seen anything like it. We're going to see a lot of great people, a lot of great friends.
The Trump campaign says they will be handing out hand sanitizer and masks, but not requiring their use.
When you go inside, are you going to plan to wear a mask?
Probably not. But if I do, I'll wear this one.
Meanwhile, word that 6 staffers working on site at the rally have tested positive for COVID-19. The White House immediately implementing quarantine measures and says none of those staffers or anyone they were in contact with will be at today's event. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
Karina, thank you. New tonight, President Trump has fired the top federal prosecutor in New York. The firing came one day after U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Berman had made clear he would resist an effort by Attorney General William Barr to remove him from office. Berman was Trump's hand-picked choice for the U.S. Attorney's office, but Trump has become increasingly upset with Berman's investigations of Trump's businesses and many of his associates. We'll have more on this developing story coming up on ABC's World News Tonight at 6:30. And in case you couldn't tell from the heat, summer has officially arrived. Today is the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, the longest day of the year. Earlier today, the sun appeared at its highest point in the sky, marking the official start of the summer season. In the southern hemisphere, of course, that means today is the shortest day of the year. And we want to get another check of your Storm Team 6 forecast with Todd standing by. Todd, you don't have the best news for Father's Day moving forward.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a catch-22. We actually need some rainfall here across the area. As I'll show you, Nicole, we're well below normal. The bad news, the timing. Unfortunately, for Father's Day, we will have to dodge some showers and storms. Take a look at these high temperatures, though, for the day today. Got up to 93 in Terre Haute, Lafayette, as well as Muncie. 91 was the high temperature in Indianapolis. That made 2 days in a row, and that we got to the 90-degree mark. And one of the things we can do if you have an extended period of dry weather is you can warm the temperatures up up very quickly, and the dry ground helped to contribute to us getting to the 90s. We've only seen just over an inch of rain so far this month, and here we are 20 days into the month, and that puts us 1 and almost 3/4 of an inch below where we should be for this time of year. But with that said, we've been enjoying the sunshine and the low humidity this week, and that has continued into our Saturday. Just a few fair weather clouds out there right now, and temperatures still very, very warm at this 6 o'clock hour. 89 in Indy, 92 in Terre Haute, 90 in Bloomington as well as Columbus. Muncie still at 92 degrees, so where you're seeing a little bit of cloud cover, that's probably where your temperatures have dropped into the upper 80s. Otherwise, you're still in the 90s, and these temps are only going to slowly fall back throughout the remainder of the evening hours into the mid 80s. So you still do have plans later on today. You do not need the jacket. Even once the sun sets, temperatures will be nice and mild. Sunset officially this evening is at 9:16. You do notice in northwest Indiana, though, we are starting to bring in some clouds and also some showers. Most of these are going to miss us here in central Indiana, but the overall trend will be for these showers to start to increase across the area, and that's the unsettled weather that we're going to deal with throughout the day tomorrow. So this evening there could be a stray shower here or there, but I think they probably hold off until after sunset. So that's good news if you have outdoor dinner plans. Tomorrow morning there could be a few spot showers that flare up as we start the day, and then as we work our way into the afternoon and evening hours, we are going to deal with more widespread showers and the potential for a few thunderstorms. Not too concerned about severe weather, but of course, with it being Father's Day, you may have grilling plans with dad, tea times out on the golf course. So you just need to be weather aware. Obviously, lightning is very dangerous, as you well know, so you'll have to come inside if you do deal with some of those storms. As far as temperatures, up into the upper 80s for afternoon highs tomorrow. The humidity comes up as well, so it's going to be a little more uncomfortable. And as you look at your next 7 days, the front goes through on Tuesday. That's when we'll deal with numerous showers around, followed by a pretty nice stretch of weather midweek into next weekend. Nicole with lower humidity.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, you may still be having a tough time deciding whether you want to travel again since the pandemic isn't over. Next, we'll dive into the risk you might be taking whenever you do decide to hit the road.
RTV6 hiring Hoosiers partner.
Many people are avoiding the friendly skies and opting to take road trips instead, but that comes with concerns too when it comes to staying away from home. Our partners at Newsy are getting answers.
When it comes to getting sick with COVID-19, you might be thinking about this, and we have too. Joel asked,
what's the risk of getting COVID-19 if I stay in a hotel or Airbnb?
We asked the experts. Their take, contracting COVID-19 from going to an Airbnb or hotel is medium risk.
The risk of staying in an accommodation like Airbnb or a hotel would be primarily related to whether someone who was infected stayed in the room prior to you or used some of the common areas.
You're going to maintain social distancing when you're in your hotel room. Same with an Airbnb. So I would just make sure that whatever hotel or Airbnb that you're going to stay at has those good cleaning protocols in place, and they have a plan for how they're going to manage COVID.
They do clean the rooms there. And additionally, you're either traveling by yourself for work or you're with family. So it is, again, that nuclear family concept there.
There have been reports of detection of virus on certain surfaces within hotel rooms, especially one study showed relatively high levels on pillows and pillowcases when someone who was ill had stayed in that room prior. So I think it's really important that hotels and Airbnbs clean very well in between customers, and that you can also do some cleaning yourself when you arrive to disinfect any high-touch surfaces and do that frequently during your stay as well.
If you have a question about your risk, send us a video question to what'stherisk@newsy.com.
Still ahead, he once sang the song Money Don't Matter, but today one of his legendary guitars sold for a whole lot of it. We'll show you the price tag coming up next.
These we have the meat.
It was once thought to be lost, but now that it's been found, it brought in enough money to buy a lot of diamonds and pearls. The Blue Angel Cloud 2 guitar that Prince played during some of his most iconic performances was auctioned off today. The price, more than $563,000. The 1984 electric guitar was used by Prince during his tours for Purple Rain and Diamonds and Pearls. He also played it during Saturday Night Live's 15th anniversary special. The guitar was sold along with many other items at today's Music Icons event held by Julian's Auctions. Todd.
All right, Nicole, as we go forward throughout the remainder of the evening, we are going to be dealing with warm conditions. We should stay dry throughout the evening hours for the most part. There's only a few storms in northwest Indiana. Tomorrow's a different story. We deal with higher humidity, temperatures in the mid-80s, and scattered storms off and on, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. So you'll have to kind of curtail your Father's Day plans around those. Showers stick around through Tuesday, and then plenty of sunshine Wednesday through Friday. Nicole.
All right, Todd, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight at 11 o'clock. Have a great night.